of course, we are at the office of the Speaker, Honorable Fonati Koffa, where he is having a major media engagement with a couple of journalists across Liberia from various media institutions in Monrovia. And of course, we now go to Austin Kawan, who is the coordinator for the discussion.
Thank you very much. Let me say thanks to all of you who joined us tonight on this very special engagement and interaction with the Honorable Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country, those of you following us in the diaspora. We'd like to say thanks for joining us. This interview is relayed on a number of radio stations, and it's also streaming live on a number of Facebook social media platforms. Freedom FM 87.9 is relaying, OK FM 99.5, Voice of Liberia 104.1, Kings FM 88.5, Banana FM, Joy FM, Hot FM 107.9. They are all relaying this special interview. Front Page Africa, Daily Observer, Women Voices, the Liberian Investigators, Spoon TV, DTV Online, a host of different platforms are relaying this special interview tonight. And a team of panelists have joined us for this interview, and so we'll go around the aisle. Leonard Dudu would like to say welcome and thanks for joining this special interview.
Thanks, Austin. It's always good to be here.
Khan Oliver Khan is host of Freedom Hub on Freedom FM 87.9. Khan has also joined us.
Thank you, Austin, and it's a wonderful thing being here today.
And very shortly we'll be joined by two of our other colleagues. Abraham Gosden William is from Kings FM. He's going to join us very shortly, along with Julius J of OK FM. He runs the OK Conversation on OK FM between 3 to 6. So the two other brothers will join us very shortly. Today we're here not to do the regular conversation, but you all may be aware that yes, some may describe it as up Capitol Hill. Some may say there's a Rick Maru up Capitol Hill. Whatever description you want to give it, but today is a privilege and an opportunity to have an approval from the office of the Speaker to interact with us and respond to some of the major allegations and accusations that are trending up Capitol Hill. So, Mr. Speaker, tonight I would like to say good evening to you again. Thanks for this opportunity to interact with these distinguished media colleagues.
Thank you very much, and welcome from Rome.
Thank you. How's everything? You look calm.
That's my personality. We are politicians. We are built for times like this. So we got to be calm to be able to manage the situation.
Okay, so we're trying to make some adjustments here for this, for the audibility of those of you watching us live and listening to us. So I'm sure this adjustment is okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay.
I mean, appearance may look calm, but internally, are you calm internally?
Internally fortified, yes.
So we'll go around the table and then Oliver will begin. We'll start the interview, the questioning, and then we'll go around the table. But before Oliver comes, Mr. Speaker, how is capital building? Tell us how is capital building?
Well, capital building, as you have seen right now, is unfortunately in a divided situation. You have a lot of our members who are not satisfied at the pace of our leadership and the leadership style, and they have decided to express that in the form of a resolution. And they have also decided to express that by staying away from session. So we are in the process of seeing how we can manage the crisis and restore the House back to constitutional order.
When you say they have expressed that in the form of a resolution, does that confirm that there is a formal document in the form of a resolution that is before your leadership to address?
No, there is no formal document, but there is a document that was indeed proffered, that has been proffered. I think I saw it in the media and on WhatsApp. So I know there is a document circulating, or there was a document circulating, and I've seen the counts in the document.
Do you consider them formal, official?
No, it's not official.
At what point would you consider them official?
We will consider them official when 49 persons affirm in session their signatures attached to that document.
When you say in session, what do you refer to as session? Because the other day we saw a number of them in the joint chamber making a couple of decisions. One, they were inviting the deputy speaker to take charge, to preside, and we saw your unquote block also in the main chamber conducting business that day. So, I mean, when you say session, what does session represent in keeping with your rules?
Okay, let me clarify. I do not have a block. Session is the membership in chambers under the gavel of the speaker, and when the speaker is not around, the deputy speaker. I was available in the building and I conducted session at our regular sitting. Any other activity that occur, whether in a building or outside of the building, involving members of the legislature, is a meeting under the Freedom of Association clause of the Constitution.
Okay, so I'm interested in the composition of those who are, having issues with your gavel. A lot of these people are people who supported you, Mr. Speaker, during the Speaker's elections. What happened? Why did they leave?
No, I can't say I know specifically. I am surprised myself, perhaps, and some of them have said that they tried reaching out and I was not listening.
Were you not listening?
Well, look, in this job where you go from 10 to 10 p.m. every day, it's not possible to hear and understand everything, for example. I think one of the things they complain about, and I'm guilty of, is a laissez-faire leadership style. I try to have the people in leadership and the members interact and resolve problems without really getting involved in a militaristic manner to give mandate, issue orders, and those kind of things. Maybe that is some of the things we should have done. That, look, chair on this, you need to do X, you need to do Y, you need to do Z for this member or that member. So part of what we had to do over the last few months is try to stabilize the House, given the fact that, number one, it was a narrow election, and number two, there were still blocks existing in the House. So you have to navigate between the so-called block that supported me and the so-called block that did not support me. Then in between that, you have a lot of leadership people, and some of them signed that, and a lot of them signed that document, or a lot of them is on the other side in the other meeting. So what happened or how it happened is something we all got to look into, sit down, and craft a way forward.
And this is going to bring us to the issue that has to do with reconciliation. One would have thought that after such a tense political process, you would have done a lot to reconcile the institution. Less than a year you're having this. What went wrong?
And we tried. Oliver, yes, what went wrong, in all honesty. You have 36 votes, okay? You have 30 leadership positions. So you can expect in that kind of thing, people will capture the mentality to the victor go the spoils, right? If you don't give up, if you give up all the leadership positions, follow me?
Okay.
So it's the balancing that has been very difficult, because there are certain things you can't give away and there are certain things you have given away. What you can't give away, people expect you to give. What you have given away, people expect you didn't have to give that away. You didn't have to sacrifice me. Or I worked hard for you and I see this other person getting benefits. It creates that kind of tension in group dynamics. And that is one of the things I was unable to control.
Yeah. just a follow up to.
Okay, just before your follow up, we
Now Julius joins us.
Julius and AB, so Julius has joined us, so let's welcome Julius.
This is almost like a press conference.
Let's welcome Julius to this interview. Welcome.
Yeah. So I on a follow up about whether you were engaged. I hosted Representative Koffa yesterday. They said there were so many times they spoke about these things to me, whether it was in meetings, but verbally some of these concerns were communicated to you. You just didn't pay attention.
Again, I don't want to be confrontational at this point. If the issue were personal issues that were brought to me, okay, a chairman has acted in this way, or a committee process is going X way, I try to do a more, I try to do mediation, as I said, rather than issuing direct mandates as to what should happen in committees. We are all equal, okay? I'm just first among equals. So as I said again, I acknowledge that we adopted a laissez-faire approach to leadership to allow more interactions and more decentralized form of decision making. And that perhaps did not go well. I take responsibility for that.
Mr. Speaker, we watched and listened to you yesterday on Spoon Talk. You did acknowledge the resolution, but at the same time, you claimed that some of the counts were just a smear campaign against you. What do you think is actually motivating the smear campaign?
Well, I don't know. You know, I think the counts that were written was not well researched. Was not. I don't even think it was serious. It was more of an attention getter, and that's what I was disappointed in. The genuine issues that members raise to me and have raised to me personally and individually are not on that paper. Nothing on that paper is something that members came here to discuss. What they have raised, and that is, involved in committee assignments, committee interactions, how they are treated by certain committee persons or committee chairpersons, were not on that petition, and those are the issues that will resolve the crisis here.
Let me say,
okay, again, all of the panelists have joined us already. Sekou Sharif of Force of Liberia has just joined us.
Awesome, what are you standing up for?
We'd like to say welcome.
Fanchi.
Anthony Alor,
Sit down behind the desk.
has also joined us. So we're trying to make change for AB, and so Sekou, you may go ahead.
Let me first of all say thank you, Austin, and indeed it's very good to have, such a conversation. And I'm very, glad to see one of the representatives that signed on the first resolution from Grand Bassa County, who's also in our midst. So he speaks a lot of things, and he looks very energetic. And I think that maybe politically you would say that maybe the speaker is trying to get most of the players on his part. So, Honorable, let me say good evening to you.
Thank you.
And hope you're doing good. And hope the people of Grand Bassa County, they are also doing good, particularly in your district. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask you this question. There are a lot of rumors about your governance, particularly within the House of Representatives, and I want to be specific about it. Some of your colleagues, they've said a lot of things about you. Some of the issues they've raised, it comes to a point where they think that you are serving as the speaker, you are also moving on to their various, departments, one would call it, where they will not be able to do what they should do in terms of their various committees. Some have said that you have reached out, you've done a lot of things that are impeding Liberia departments. You as the speaker, even though you said that some of them, they've not done what they should have done, Mr. Speaker, can you say to us, what is happening with the TIE in our country? I'm told you and the former president of our country, President George Weah, you've got a very close tie to TIA. What is your tie with TIA in the country?
Okay, so I didn't drop from the sky, right? I've had a long career here, first as a lawyer when I came, first as a lawyer. And I would tell you, one of the better lawyers in Liberia. So
Which you know of.
Okay. So you expect that in the past I have had clients.
So what is your tie to TIA?
You want me to answer the question, or you know, you had a long introduction with the grand pastor man and all that. Everybody give you the time.
You have a couple of radio stations.
I think you don't want to ask me to answer that question. So let's go to the next question. Austin, I will answer the question or not?
No, Austin is not. We're having a conversation on dialogue. What is your tie to TIA?
But you have to give me the opportunity to answer the question.
So I'm asking. So we're journalists.
Okay, so the interview is structured in a way where
Austin,
we'll post the question.
let's allow the speaker to answer.
But you're not allowing me to answer.
What is your tie to TIA?
Okay, let me answer the
what
question.
What is your tie to TIA?
The owners of TIA are friends of mine.
So it means that it's a conflict of interest.
It's a conflict of interest to have friends? Are you serious?
Friends of mine?
Yeah, it's a conflict of interest to have friends? Then you do not know.
So what is your tie to TIA?
What did I just say? They are friends of mine.
So
the owners are friends of mine. What does it imply? Nothing. It implies that my friends. Am I right?
Are you defending them?
When did I defend them?
So what is your tie to TIA?
They are my friends. The owners of TIA are friends of mine.
Okay. You are the Speaker of the Republic of Liberia.
And I shouldn't have friends.
Particularly within the House of Representatives.
And I shouldn't have friends. No one can give you one time that I call them to interfere on behalf of TIA. They can't name that time. That would be the relevant question. That would be the relevant issue.
Speaker, there's this allegation that they authored their agreement with the government of Liberia where they should have had a particular year, and when they forged, which I can provide you the documents.
Yeah, but I know nothing about that. How would I know something about that? If there's a document, I was not speaker. It comes from the chief clerk to the speaker to the executive marshal. How am I involved?
Do you have any extraordinary connection with them?
They are my friends. There is no extraordinary connection. They're friends of mine. The owners are friends of mine that I have been knowing since 2000.
Okay, let's
Austin, you want to allow us to have a
conversation
with the
speaker? One minute.
So I should also be protected.
Yeah, so you are 100% protected.
Honorable Speaker,
so second 1 minute.
I listen to you. You raise a lot of issues that make a lot of sense. Let me just conclude my thought, please.
We are not in time to ask questions.
Let me just conclude my thought.
And so you asked TD questions. The speaker responded to the TD questions.
Hello, just a minute, please.
Everybody asked his question where they will come back to us. There's a follow-up or question.
Just a minute, please. Honorable Speaker, I listened to you, and you made a lot of points in where some of your colleagues that you thought they were friends to you, and they brought even, quote unquote, some of the things that were happening in the legislature to you, and you try to stand on your ground that you want to have this House of Representatives to be audited, and they've gone against you. Romans have it that the senator of Mandibi County, Emmanuel Mugwe, the vice president of our country, they've worked together to call you for a meeting. And yesterday I have a picture that you went to this, the Senate of our country, you had a meeting. Do you want to tell the Liberian people what did you go to the Liberian Senate for on yesterday, where you and one of the representatives were seen in a pictorial evidence coming from the Liberian Senate?
It is not illegal or unlawful for us to conduct business here. It is not my first time going to the Senate. It's not my first time going to see the Vice President. Obviously, we have issues on ground. I went to consult the Vice President on those issues.
Did you meet with the senator of Mangibi County?
I did not.
What exactly did you people discuss?
Who?
It is important for the
No, what did me and who discuss? What did me and who discuss?
What did you people discuss?
I briefed the Vice President on what happened in session with the two different groups, and I laid out to him what I thought would be the way forward.
And what did he say to you?
No, I can't qualify. You will have to ask him. I can tell you what I told him. No, I will not divulge a statement made by the Vice President in a private meeting.
Okay,
I can tell you what I said.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we have
And
to
I
make
told you.
progress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we have to make progress. Julius, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, just a few concerns. One, the portion in the resolution mentions your 2023 budget outturn to be far exceeding of what was allotted to your office. Do you care to respond to that?
I responded to it last night. And I stand on my statement
What did you say?
that an audit, because they said 2022 and 2023, and that's why an audit needs to be done, because the audit will show. I have my records. The audit will show the paper trail. Let's do the audit. The auditors are the independent actors. They will come and say, yeah, what happened, and here is the trail.
An audit of the House of Representatives.
I'm sorry?
Are you in for an audit of the House of Representatives?
I signed the letter requesting the GAC to do it.
Okay.
And I'm sending an amendment letter to ask them to include 2022.
When is it supposed to begin?
Time that we do the update of where they are and the progress they've made. So when we get to that meeting, I will know where they are.
Let me just close up with
We have answered several questions from the building that they have requested on documents that they have requested, and I have seen that work in progress.
I want to come to ways forward. There is clearly a huge number of lawmakers who are against you being speaker, and they seem quite adamant, quite strong on their stance that they have to oust you. How are you trying to resolve this? How are you trying to reach out? We know that governance, 90% is performed in those different rooms where we cannot see you. All that we're doing is just 10%. What are you doing to have this debacle resolved?
Okay, but then we're in a 90% now, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah, we're in a 90%. So if you wanted to bring it in the room on the 90% now, I can't do it. Okay, so I can only tell you the 90% going on.
Okay. So, Mr. Speaker, let's go back to.
Julia, are you done?
well, I thought he did not get more clarification.
In terms of what? Obviously, I'm the responsible officer on deck, and I will do everything I can to ensure at the end of the day, the members. Hold on now, you gotta give me a chance.
Let me just end with the question.
Okay.
I asked Representative Samuel Koga on yesterday whether you've reached out to him since you returned, and he said no. And he is the chairman of that group. Have you reached out now?
No, I have not.
Will
Because I'm reaching out to people who are also reaching. Look, there are multiple conversations going on. Okay. You know, you remember the Cold War, right? Mm-hmm. When the Cold War happening, Reagan don't just pick up the phone and call Gorbachev, right? Mm-hmm. There are channels, you know, in the system where we are. There are people, there are players, you know. Because you don't want me to pick up the phone and call Koga, and it becomes a combative conversation. Take both sides, okay? One side have to step back, one side have to. So, in order to do that, the people who in the 90% area, they are arranging and they are organizing.
So
that.
finally, you were with the president. Mm-hmm. He invited you on a trip, and this happened. A whole lot of Liberians are thinking that there may be some political ploy somewhere. What is the nature of the conversation with the president, his confidence in you, and all these kinds of things? What can we know? Is he intervening? A whole lot of people think that he should now.
No, I think we are at the level of the first branch of government, and I think it will be resolved at this level.
Okay. So Oliver, please, a minute. Do you trust? Just a minute, please. Do you trust what's happening in our country? The way that maybe please, I respect you.
Yeah, respect your colleague on the panel, Sekou. No, you have to respect your colleague on the panel.
Honorable Speaker,
Sekou.
Do you trust what's going on in the country?
Austin.
The way things are happening, you traveled with the president, and now things are happening the way things are happening in the country. Do you trust the president, support to your speakership in the country?
Okay.
Well, I don't know about the president's support. I think we deal in the support of the members. As people continue to remind me when I do media thing, they said, Speaker, all these things don't matter. What matters is 72 persons. So, and I don't think the president was named among those 72 persons.
Anyway,
Okay, Mr.
my
Speaker.
position now, actually, as per our political issue in the country, the speakership of our country will always be supported by the presidency. Do you have the support of the presidency?
I have no information to lead me to conclude otherwise. That the executive branch of government, headed by the office of the president, is working in line with the office of the speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's good enough that we should look at the resolutions that these lawmakers have drafted for which they want you out. One of the things that they say is that you are the Speaker of the House. At the same time, you are representing legally several government and non-government entities. Mr. Speaker, are you conflicted in your role as Speaker of the House and as an astute lawyer?
But you people are not answering, you people don't want to listen to the answer. So it only leads me to believe that maybe you believe what they are saying. I've answered this several times. I have not walked in a courtroom since I was elected as a lawyer. I have not sat down at a table with anyone representing anyone since I was elected as a lawyer. I have not drafted an opinion, drafted legal documents from any client since I was elected. Not Speaker, since I was elected to the House of Representatives. Okay, the assumption here is, because he was a lawyer, because he made so much money, so all these people must be a client because they know him. Over half of the persons, the entities listed on our list. Why are you asking me? Go ask NASCO if I ever represented them before. Not only me, ask them if the International Law Group ever represented them before. Go ask MPA. Go ask all those entities. So at some point, you got to read a essay and go to the journalistic work and ask the people. The allegation here is he represented you when, under what circumstances, and how did they terminate? You will find out that's zero.
Okay.
That's why you will find out.
Yeah, so Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned about this audit situation. Now, you made mention yesterday that you will support every decision by whatever anti-bribery institution to investigate this house. Now, there's speculation out there that former lawmakers, including some of your current colleagues, may have something that they don't want to have uncovered with this whole audit situation. Now, with you insisting on having this house audited, aren't you afraid that it could prolong the situation happening at the legislature?
Let me just add to that. We know that in most cases, audit reports have often found people culpable. If this is the case in this instant audit, what will you do if some of your colleagues are found culpable of financial malpractices?
No, so I don't know if that was the intent to uncover or to expose colleagues with financial malpractices. What the GAC said was you never had a system. Because you never had a system, we'll do a system audit and tell you how to have a system now. So to tell somebody we're coming to do audit to prosecute you is not where we are heading. We are coming to do audit to expose our flaws in our system so we can develop one in the management of the Liberian people money. Yes, some things will come out that may embarrass some of us in the way we practiced before, but that does not make it illegal or make it anyway actionable. It only shows us, okay, if this is how you withdrew money before, or if this is how you move money around before, that's not the way to do it. The proper way to do it is X, Y, and Z way. So this is not about trying to catch somebody. This is about trying to develop a system so the management of the Liberian people money can be transparent and accountable.
Okay, guys, this is a special interview with the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Well, I thought it was just a special interview with Sekou.
No.
So
You come here again. Let's see, why are you giving the man in mind?
So we have Abraham Gosson William, who's here from Kings FM, Julius Jeff of OK FM, Leonard Dudu of the Liberian Investigator, Sekou Sherif of Voice of Liberia, Khan Oliver Khan of Freedom FM, and a host of other radio stations are relaying. Yes, Freedom FM is relaying. There is OK FM, Voice of Liberia, Kings FM, Banner FM, Jaw FM, Hot FM, plus other community radio stations, Front Page Africa, the Liberian Investigator, Spoon TV, and the entire network. They are relaying this special interview. My name is Austin. So, Mr. Speaker, before I call this coming, I'd like you to take your time to respond to this thing about usurpation of functions in the House of Representatives, because this is one key thing that some of your colleagues continue to talk about. Oh, you've given a committee, you're not giving them the chance to work or to function. You're not giving them the capacity or building the capacity to work. Has this concern come before you? Have you ever heard this? Has any of your colleagues brought this before you about a committee not being given the chance to function? What is the real conversation that you're aware of?
Here is the conversation I'm aware of. The problem you got in the billing, the committee chairs think they are the committee. Okay? They make decisions without reference to their committee members. That make committee members mad. Okay? And when committee members mad, they will come over, Speaker, you put me on the committee, nothing I seen from A. Nothing going on. You're the chairman here, that the chairman doing X, Y, and Z.
Nothing I seen what?
Work.
Honorable Speaker, let me hold you. Let me just something very important.
Is it a follow-up to my question? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker, we listen to you and you say a lot of things. And you point to some of the issues where a lot of Liberians came out and said, this is what is happening within the legislature of our country. We don't know. You said that 300,000 plus being sent out to a particular committee. Yesterday, you don't have a report. And people were alleging that a certain amount of money went into your budget. And you, as the speaker, Austin, you want to give me?
No, I want to
Let him finish. I'll answer that question, Jenna.
Thought on this. Allow me to lay my thought. Don't do that.
Just
so let me lay my thought. It's very important. So, a lot of Liberians think that you are part of the problems in our country, where if you open the lines of all of the radio stations in the country, they will say, the legislatures, they become the problem of our country. In fact, they make a lot of legislations that are not in the interest of our country. Honorable Speaker, how can you distance yourself from the overturn of the budget you receive in the country, where you should have received 1-point-something million, but you received 5-point-something million? How can you distance yourself from financial misappropriation within the legislature of our country? Where do you stand about all these things in the country?
I think again, it's become a little exhausting because we just have to agree to follow what the rule is. Let's get the audit done. The audit will reveal what the speculation says. Then we can answer whatever those questions are. I cannot divorce myself for the thing that are happening here. I'm part of this legislature, okay? But as I said last night, when the 55th came in, they said, Speaker, we want one thing from you. We want our independence and we want to maintain our integrity. And my job is to make sure the 55th don't break down into past legislature. And that is my struggle and that is my fight.
Did you receive 5.5 million instead of 1-point-something million?
I did not receive. I did not receive 5.5.
How can you explain to the Liberian people? What did you receive? What did you receive?
But what do you mean? What did you receive? I spent what was? I spent what? You talking as if to say they take money and they bring it to me.
What did you receive?
I received what? I received what was in my budget.
How much?
Whatever the amount was, there were I think 1.3, 1.4.
Honest to the Liberian people. What did you
Look at
receive?
this. I received what was in my budget.
Austin, wait.
I received what was in my budget.
How much?
I think it was 1.3 or 1.4 million.
1.3. So how did we reach to a point of 5 point something million?
The audit will show that.
Who's responsible?
The audit will show that.
Who's responsible?
The audit will show that.
Are you afraid?
Afraid of what?
But tell us who's responsible.
The audit. I'm not.
To receive 1 point something million.
I'm not a. I'm not an auditor. Okay, and I'm telling you what I received. The only problem you have is you don't want to believe that, and that's your problem.
So
the audit.
Said to
The audit. The audit.
That one of the senators of Margibi County, Emmanuel Nukwe, is behind this thing, and you don't want to call his name.
So I'm gonna run behind you with your speculation.
Nukwe is behind this thing.
You want me to run behind you with your speculation? No, I'm not going to do that. So let us agree to do the audit. Let's agree to do the audit. Why are you scared of the audit?
Your thing is about the audit.
Yes, that's what all of us should be about. Why are you scared of the audit?
So you think that your removal comes from the issue where you want to conduct audit?
I think it's a myriad of issues, and I think I discussed them. Leadership style, reform, and all of those things.
Okay.
Okay, so we can go around the table. I see that AB wants to come.
He said he weak now.
Yeah, okay. Honorable Speaker, thank you. I would just like to take it from this point of yesterday's action. I have some level of biblical background that I come from. I also preach as well. So when people are preaching sermons, I tend to look at it and look at the context in which it is being preached. Yesterday there was a sermon preached describing either you as a Pharaoh holding back the holies, and God has asked you to let the people go.
And get in the gas.
Yeah, in a sermon that was preached, it was talking about how Pharaoh held back when gas slips are coming, coupons have been released, they don't reach to people on time, and so forth, and you were responsible for that. And you did acknowledge here that you play some laissez-faire along the line, making sure that whoever is in leadership, they are reaching down to those people whom they're supposed to benefit. So with that sermon being preached, where gas slips are reaching to people, can we attribute that to your laissez-faire attitude that may have led people to having the gas slips slopped along the way where we're not reaching out to some of the police?
You got to ask Pharaoh that question.
They're calling you Pharaoh.
Oh, are Pharaoh?
Yeah, you the Pharaoh.
Then the gas lit or what?
I don't know, you tell.
Look, you can't reduce the office of the speaker to divine gaslit. Maybe that was some of the laissez-faire thing. I think the committees that are responsible for those things ought to do their jobs. I'm not going to divine gaslit. AB, I'm very serious. We will put in, and that's what I said. Maybe the committee chair acts as the committee and does things, and we'll look into that and try to make sure that committees are involved. You got a whole committee, you can't divide gaslit, that the speaker will divide it. No.
Yeah, because the issue there is about due diligence, that's all. But let's come to this whole hullabaloo that we are sensing here. If you look at most of the recordings that are up, I don't want to seem like you're indicting your colleagues. But Liberians are more concerned about what is really in this for us. Because the one day that you people did not operate, they affected the entire country. And for anything to affect the Liberian people, it should be for and on behalf of them for which it is affecting them. How do you look at this fight? Is it a fight for the Liberian people, or is it somewhat personal?
It's a fight for the Liberian people, AB, and let me tell you why. At the end of this process, as we argue, fuss, and fight, at the end of it, will be a legislature that is reformed, will be a legislature that is accountable, will be a legislature that is transparent. That's why they fight about. We argue, we fuss and fight. But at the end of the day, if you don't see a better legislature, a 55th, don't ever respect me. These things have to happen so that we can get to a better place.
His historical antecedents show that these things did not end well for whoever was speaker. That is the recent memory. Snow went down through resignation. Alex Tyler went down through resignation, though the other side could not get the constitutional two-thirds to have removed them. But as the legislature became stalled, they eventually gave in there's a possibility that this could linger on and on and on and on. And as a man who refers to himself as a patriot, I mean, you, if it continues, that you are not getting the number and they are not getting the number to remove you, but are still adamant and not coming to session, what will you do?
But the patriotic thing, I'm not the only patriot in the legislature, right? We all should be patriots. The patriotic thing to do, that withdrawing salary, we should come to work, right? That is the patriotic thing. And then when we come to work, we'll solve whatever our issues are. I don't think it will get to all the places you're talking about, because we are having conversations indeed. There are genuine members who want a resolution. In the next few days, you will begin to see those things coming together.
Well, this is hope, and usually plans are not based on hope. It is an expression of hope. But what the reality is that there's a huge block of people who are against you, and this, and we are speaking based on the reality that exists, that it could linger on. And soon, Liberians will start getting tired and say, well, let's speak of gently, the main gem resign.
That is not possible. So let's go on to the next question.
It is not possible.
For me to resign, I mean,
I think I need to bring this to
the resignation is not an option for us.
Julius's question. Somebody says, if JFK doesn't have quorum to conduct business, he will adjourn session compelling the others to attend. However, he can't adjourn more than 5 times. After 5 times, he will inform the Senate. A constitutional crisis will erupt. The Supreme Court might order the dissolution of the legislature. A non-precedent case, JNB government might collapse. You keep insisting that there's no room for resignation. Even if the so-called majority bloc insists that they will not subject themselves to your gavel, if it reaches the point where you should have convened session or the end session for 5 times, will you still not be willing to give in?
Well, this is the problem we have as Liberians. You take something that somebody read, where is the 5 times in the law? None. Is there? It's not there. It's not there at all. There is no 5 times. There are two responsibilities, powers we have when we cannot convene a quorum. We can adjourn and we can compel. Now listen to this very carefully. There is the reason why the Constitution and our rules say the minority can compel the majority to attend. If it was the contemplation of the law that once the majority convene, that's the legislature, they would not have majority. And this is the issue of when there is no quorum. So if the minority is compelling, it's under the consideration and the assumption that the minority is where the speaker sits, or in his absence, the deputy speaker. So we will exercise our option to compel them to come to session.
Now, will the action be just writing a communication or sending the sergeant at arms to invite them to session, or you might just...
We send the sergeant at arms on Thursday, on Tuesday. We will consider further action on Thursday if we can get a quorum.
Can we include running to the Supreme Court?
Yes, it could include running to the Supreme Court.
Now, talking about your deputy speaker, there are allegations that he may be playing some a 10 of your CDC lawmakers are also on that side. How concerning are these?
It's not concerning because it's false.
What is false?
The information that the deputy speaker is involved.
But there are 10 CDC lawmakers on that side.
There is one Grand Crew lawmaker who is not on my side. He's on that side. So is my responsibility or is the deputy speaker responsibility? No.
To you, that your party, some of the lawmakers are on that side?
It's concerning to me, yes.
And
the party having a discussion with them.
What about you in terms of getting to them too? How?
But at the 90% thing we're talking about, I want to draw outside to the 10% that I want to keep inside to the 90%.
I think the public needs to know there's this huge concern, because if you have your 10 CDC lawmakers on your side, there is absolutely no problem. You are going to have quorum. You come from a populist political party. You are the speaker, and you lost 10 of your party members. What does that say about your leadership?
It says that 10 of the party members are on the other side.
And not too good for you.
It's not too good for the country because we don't have quorum.
We saw you on a video with the, maybe you allow me now to speak. We saw you on a video with the former president of our country.
Which video?
With the deputy speaker of our country in section, where George Weah had a video call with the deputy speaker, and then thank you. And then you had a brief conversation with him. Can you assure us that CDC lawmakers, they are in support of your speakership? I'm seeing the legs of one of the staunch members of CDC. He sits right in your seat there, and the legs of other people. Can you assure the Liberian people that CDC is in support of it? Because we are seeing other CDC lawmakers are in the other side. And the former president of our country spoke to all of the seditians, telling them that all of the lawmakers coming from CDC are to support the speaker, because the speakership of the country now is CDC, but we're seeing something different. You got Clarence Guy, you got Ava Jones, you got the legs of other people. Can you assure the Liberian people that you will get their support? Because not getting that support will be something different to your speakership of our country. Wait. So
Secretary, that's why you won't have question, you will be
no,
so
I don't want us to have
okay, so what we'll do, we'll allow other more question to come in, and then the speaker will respond to the two questions.
Mr. Speaker, we got to go. So when these things are happening, for some of us, we're concerned about the source. There are people who are of the opinion that you're becoming more powerful. People think there are individuals in the Senate, the people in the executive who are of the opinion that you want to be the next president of this country. Where do you stand? You want to be president?
This is 2021, 2024, and we're talking about 2029 presidential elections. But didn't I clarify last night that in 2029, former President Weah has at least not made a formal declaration, but there is indication from the party that he is going to be the party's candidate, and that would be where my support is going.
Mr. Speaker,
I think I made that clear. That
so
I'm
you
not.
need to answer my question.
I'm not running. But to come to the single question, the party is having discussion, and I'm confident.
People still supporting
No, but we're not answering it. The party is having discussion with all of its lawmakers, and I'm confident in the next few days, the party will prevail on its lawmakers.
What went wrong about Clarence Guy? You and Clarence Guy?
Nothing went wrong with me and Clarence Guy.
Mr. Speaker, talking about 2029, you've boldly said that you are not aiming the presidency and that you'll support the former president should he contest again. Now, how do you see your own political future, and how do you envisage your participation in the future governance of this country?
Okay.
Since you are not contesting the presidency.
Yeah, so I announced when I won my election in District 2, Grand Crew County, that was my last term, that I will not run again. I have no more interest in elective office after I have served this term. I want to spend the remaining time to do some personal and family things with my children, whom I have neglected over the past 20 or so years as I have been involved in Liberian politics. So I want to take that time to devote it to them. So that's why I said this will be my last term.
Okay, so since this interview was initially scheduled for an hour, and we don't want to breach that protocol, so we can have the opportunity again to come back and interact with the speaker. So we'll allow AB
but this time, right, he has to go to his studio. This was strenuous for some of us.
Yes.
We will address that. We'll talk about it. So AB will come in. And
The studio can host everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
So AB will come in.
Some other
and
time
then we
will
can.
be difficult. So I think
AB,
this is also a better place to have a conversation. No.
Then me and Sebi agree on one thing.
Just be clear. even in the studio, we have a difficult time. So yeah, it's
Because
also better.
you know when you hang a pass, yeah? If you go ahead.
So, Honorable Speaker, the office is much better.
Honorable Speaker, where we are now, Liberia is at a crossroad. Your colleagues are having conversations on the other side, and I keep hearing you that if they want for us to have this conversation, let them come into the chambers. Now, you are a lawyer. There are instances where a judge's credibility could be impeached upon, but again, the opportunity will have to be given for the accusers to determine whether he should either recuse himself. You will have to either determine that as well. What guarantee can you give your colleagues that when they to accept to bring their resolution on your gavel, they will have fair adherence to the law, free fair adherence to the due process that you are calling for?
Okay, so if I get a resolution with 49 signatures, I guarantee that I will immediately recuse myself because I got to prepare for my defense and allow the Deputy Speaker to take control of the gavel, to prepare my defense, make my case to plenary, and if they decide my case is not sufficient enough and 49 of them decide that that's it, that's it.
You follow up to that. So in the event where 49 of them will decide and you are no more speaker, will you return to the floor as an ordinary representative or what next?
Yeah, they said they will give me one office by the bathroom.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me say thanks to you, Mr. Speaker, for granting us this opportunity. And let me say, we're not done yet, but let me say thanks to all of our colleagues who joined this interview and to all of the platforms that relay this interview: Freedom OK Voice, Kings FM Banner, Joy FM, Hot FM, and the other online platforms, including Spoon and Front Page Africa. Mr. Speaker, we are about to leave you. And I'm sure you have something that you want to say that you did not say or you were not asked to say. What would be that?
No, also I think I will ask everything. I just want to reiterate what I said when I came back from Rome after a historic visit. I asked the Liberian people for a little bit more patience with the legislature. We are going to fix it. Trust me, even the people you saw fighting, when you see them shaking hands and hugging each other, you'll be surprised that this even occurred. We are the 55th. We are not an easy group, but we are a fair and a responsible group. And I ask the Liberian people not to lose faith. In spite of our most embarrassing moments, we wish those moments would have been taken in the 90% that everybody knows are happening, but it didn't. It happened within the 10%. I'm embarrassed by that. The lawmakers involved are embarrassed, and you will see at some point the requisite apologies to each other. We gotta forgive each other. We gotta redeem each other and redeem. Yes, I told the Pope.
What did he say to you?
No, he didn't say. I told him to bless all of my opponents. I even brought a couple of rosaries for those who are Catholics, and I will deliver it to them at some point.
Why didn't you share with your colleagues in the House of Representatives?
Why didn't one?
Why didn't you share with your colleagues?
The rosaries?
Some of which could help them to change.
No, I didn't want undue influence them.
Okay, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Leonard. Thank you, Sekou Sharif. Thank you, Oliver Khan. Thank you to all of our colleagues. Thanks to all of our colleagues who joined this interview from different platforms. We appreciate your coming. Thanks to the